Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. It's been a while since I last streamed, but kind of want to get back into it. So, this is kind of going to be a special kind of stream. I think I've said that a few times now since I've began streaming, but this one really is special. Not too long ago, hello Violet Delta, welcome to the stream. Not too long ago, my 20th written lyrics got published. So, it's kind of special, kind of wanted to do something. Got a lot of them done now, as you can see. Now, I'm not going to look at all of them, that would take a very long time. But I do have a special kind of playlist prepared, I guess you could say. If you look in the description, it'll kind of spoil it. But first thing I want to say is, if you look in the bottom right, you'll see that music will be muted in the archive. I'm going to be playing some songs. I don't want to upset any producers by playing full songs and having them completely available. So, this will be a one-time kind of thing. Either you're here or you're not, basically. So, basically, when I tend to write these lyrics, I kind of follow a general principle in that I try to have two separate meanings. Most of the lyrics I've written have been for Toho kind of stuff, right? So, usually, what I try and do is have a meaning associated with whoever's theme that I'm writing for. But also, at the same time, I usually tend to have a more personal meaning involved with it too. So you can look at it in multiple different ways. That's generally what I try to do. So, for the first song, I want to look at the first song. That is the lyrics to the first song I ever wrote for. So, this one, Blue Beauty, it's arranged by Sieudiver, or Sieudiver, however you want to say it. It's Sieudiver in French, I believe, which is what his name actually is. He is a French dude. Hello, Kafka. Welcome. This probably is the first time you've heard my voice. So, this song, it's a very special meaning because, well, it is the first one I've ever written. And this man in the chat, Kafka, actually was so kind as to translate the song. So, funnily enough, this ended up turning out better than the English translation I wrote to show the producer, which sounds kind of silly, but my process generally is to write in Japanese first and then kind of translate it after so everyone gets the whole idea. But Kafka did a really, really good job with this, and I would expect nothing less, honestly. So, look at that first of all. So, Blue Beauty. I usually come up with the titles myself, but of course if the producer wants to have their own title, I have no complaints, right? Usually I just have a title as a suggestion, but most of the time it tends to get through, so this title I actually came up with myself. It's nothing special, but it does the job. So this song was in the album Fearless Desire, and I have all the links to the albums in the descriptions, by the way, so be sure to check them out. And this album was completely Desire Drive. Every single song. It was, let's see, 14 songs by many talented producers. And, by the way, Violet Delta, this is the first time that I had actually heard any of your music is in this, Acid Hyperdrive. I loved this song. I thought it was really cool, and that's how I got to know you, honestly. It's kind of funny how this album kind of began everything, honestly. For me, at least. But it was a great album. But it was badly mixed, you say. Well, look, man. My ears cannot pick that up. I thought it was cool. So, if the song sounds cool, that's all that matters to me. Could do a remix someday, maybe. That would be cool. Put it up to 2021 standards. But back then, I was like, holy shit, this song is unique. And I liked it. So, another special thing about this song is the one who did the vocals was, I don't want to say OP2C because that is a 0. 0P2C did the vocals, and she's the one who invited me to write the lyrics in the first place. And she's kind of the one who actually got me into writing lyrics at all, honestly. So, big props to her. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for 0P2C. And the arrangement, like I said, Sieudiver. So, highly underrated artist, honestly. Should definitely go check out his stuff. Like, the production value on this album was honestly amazing, I gotta say. And he's done other things too. For example, this Akyra BGM remix was really good, but it had like barely any views on YouTube. I don't know why, it's such a good remix. But that aside, let's get into the song, I guess. And again, this audio will not be in the archive, so this is a one-time thing. I'm going to be cutting this out. I'll be going through the lyrics as the song goes on. Amazing song. So, the thing about this one is, when I think of Sega, the character in this album, or the character whose theme this album is about, the first thing that pops into my mind is Desire. I mean, even the title is Desire Drive, right? But there's already plenty of Sega songs that have lewd meanings, that have her playing with her toys in a kind of malicious way, about her using Yoshika. I wanted to go for something different. Something kind of fantastical, something unrealistic, something... what's the word that I'm looking for? Surreal. So, basically, Speaker decides to give in to her desire and goes traveling in search of all sorts of different treasures across the world. And it goes well at first, but soon she finds that no matter how much treasure she gets, she's never satisfied. But she keeps going, but nothing changes. She remains discontent, which sounds pretty bleak, but the song doesn't end on a sad note. I couldn't end this song on a sad note. Such an upbeat song like this. But, so, eventually, she decides to go home, and to her surprise, greatest treasure of all is her daily life that she took for granted. And now she can appreciate it. So, this song I wrote shortly after finishing university. And I think that greatly influenced me. Of course, it has ties to Sega as a character. Like I said, I tend to make it a point to have two meanings, a kind of personal meaning and a Toho meaning. So it's tied to Sega in Desire. The only thing is, the only problem with that side is the ending. I can't, now that I look at it today, I can't see Sega, the character, going home and appreciating a regular life. I do not think the character would do that now. But personally, I had just finished university and it was a very difficult time. I must say, I was kind of burnt out. So, you can kind of think of it as I went to university, I left home searching for something, got burnt out, and then went home and it was like, oh my god, thank god I'm finally done. That was my kind of personal meaning. I could see you dreaming of doing that and then not. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. So, if I had to change something, probably change the ending of the song. Now that said, this drinking William T line, I don't know if you noticed, but in the song, in the instrumental, there's T sound effects. That was added after I wrote this line. The producer, Sieudiver, he really pays a lot of attention to detail. His music videos, too, are like really, really well done. I would recommend taking a look at them. He like really puts a narrative in his music videos. It brings them to life. They're great. Definitely recommend checking them out. And you can find a link to the album in the description. But honestly, looking at these lyrics now, I'm surprised they're kind of still similar in style to what I do now. In English lyrics, generally, what's very common is you'll see rhymes at the end of each kind of line, right? Something like this, in different kind of schemes, but usually the rhymes come at the end of the lines. One thing that I find sounds good in Japanese is the kind of combo sounds like a fighting game. I don't know if that makes any sense, but take this line for example. These spots here have a lot of O sounds, right? But it's not exactly like how you would rhyme in English. It's more like, what's the word? Assonance? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. But I find that stringing together similar sounds in the same line, it's a better way to make Japanese lyrics sound cool, rather than doing it English style. And I have done that as far back as this song, which I'm kind of surprised now that I look back at it. Alliteration is always good, and I thought you used sound effect words to great effect. Thank you. Honestly, one of the biggest inspiration with those sound effect words, I kind of want to say like this, but maybe not really. Where is it? Let's see. Like this. These kind of lines, I tend to do this in a couple songs, depending on the tone of the song. It's honestly mostly inspired by Akyra. Akyra's songs, her lyrics. She tends to write a lot of onomatopoeia like this, and honestly, it kind of leaked into my writing too. But that's enough of this song. It's a very good song. I'm very happy to have worked with Sieudiver on my first song writing lyrics thing. So, leading from this album was Homebound. So, hold on, I forgot. I can add the album edit. Let me see. Here we go. So that album directly led into Mosaic for me. Again, P2C worked on this album. She was a vocalist in a couple tracks, and again, she invited me to work on the album. Very, very grateful for that. And hold on. I played a prominent role in this album. I think I wrote up to 3 or 4 tracks, but what we're looking at now is the very first track in the album. And this time, the vocalist is KISAKI. KISAKI is a wonderful vocalist. I cannot even begin to describe how amazing her vocals are. She's what I would call professional, honestly. That is the best way I can say it. She really knows what she's doing. Even back in 2018, she's grown a lot since then, but even back in 2018 when this album came out, she was something else. I'm very lucky to work with her. So, what else do I have to say about this before we begin? Right. Again, like I said, I like to have personal meaning and a Toho meaning. So, the theme of this song is Kaguya leaving the moon, basically. She's leaving her old home. She wants to find a new place to belong. So, I'll speak more about it once we get through the song, I think. So, let's go. Well, I gotta say, you did miss your tracks, Sieudiver. Feels bad. Well, I'm not sure what to tell you. You can check the archive, and you'll see my comments about it there. That's all I can really say. But yes, Kisaki's vocals get me every time. They're so good, honestly. The nice thing is, many of the vocalists that I work with, including Kisaki, have a knowledge of Japanese, so the pronunciation tends to be pretty spot on. It's very important, honestly. But on top of that, when I work with Kisaki, we have a lot of back and forth about the lyrics, trying to best find how to make it sound great. It's a very collaborative experience, and I'll talk more about that with a later track, but in my opinion, having good collaboration really can make a difference. Because personally, I'm not a vocalist myself yet. So there's a lot that goes into singing that I do not know. So having input from the vocalist can really, really help. So this song, like I said, has two meanings. Yes, yet. Two meanings. First, Kaguya leaving the moon. And, of course, there's common writing advice. Write what you know. I myself also left a place that I liked. So, kind of use that as the main motivation. I always want to find something that I have in common with a character when I write a song related to them. So, for me, Kaguya left the moon, I left somewhere. That's the main idea, at least. Now, one interesting thing about this track is it's actually been translated into Korean. Last track with Blue Beauty, we saw that Kafka Fura in the chat actually was kind enough to translate it. I'm very grateful for that. And this track got translated into Korean, which I'm still amazed at. I have no idea if it's accurate or not. I don't speak any Korean, but it's a very amazing thing, honestly. I'm super cool to know that they cared about my lyrics that much that they wanted to translate it. Super cool. Last time we looked at the alliteration. I don't think I really did that this much this time. This was more of an emotional song, so I wanted to focus more on the emotional aspect rather than the, how do I say it? I didn't want it to be danceable, if that makes any sense. I think it's fine not having any cool sounding things. I think it's fine like this. The closest thing I did to something like that would be this line, where I have the Misaru and Sasanu kind of rhyming in an English style thing, but wasn't really necessary. It doesn't really add anything. I guess it kind of makes it fit with the melody a bit better, but aside from that, there's probably didn't need to force a rhyme. What else do I want to look at in this? Honestly, to this day, I still think it's pretty well written. It's a very good emotional song. And honestly, the whole album is very good. Again, you can check it in the description. We have songs by, geez, let me bring it up. Plantagenia, Mosaic. We got a couple songs by 0P2C and KISAKI, and Kodokon is a very talented producer. And I wrote Homebound and Stella. And Kisaki wrote her own lyrics for Spirit, and that song is really good too. I would like to talk about it, but I mean, this stream is about my own lyrics, but she did a really good job too. It's definitely an album that I would recommend, highly, highly recommend. And the sequel, but we'll get to that later. Next up, we have a song by Higan Daybreak. This one, Wild and wonderful world. So, funnily enough, as I said, Fearless Desire kind of led me into Plantagenia, and then Plantagenia kind of led me into Higan Daybreak. Let's see. Let me get the credits. It's not in the description. I'll fix that after. Thank you for letting me know. But, this song, I actually wrote together with JD. So, it's a bit different, and it's also the first time that I really wrote English lyrics. Personally, my specialty is Japanese lyrics. I'm not really... I can't say I'm good at English lyrics at all. So I wrote this one together with JD. And... again, I had two meanings to it. This song is, I believe it's Sanae's theme. So I wanted it to have to do with Sanae, right? And also, like I said, I tend to have a personal meaning as well. But since I'm writing it with JD, I wanted it to kind of relate to the circle, Higan Daybreak. So, throw that on, and I'll talk more about the meaning, I think, once we get through it. Alright, so like I said, this is a song that I wrote with JD, the co-founder of Higan Daybreak. So, what I was thinking is, this is their second album, right? They're just beginning to kind of get established, they're starting to get a fan base, everything was going good for them, right? So, what I was thinking, what I suggested, I guess, is, a go away Bandcamp logo thing. Why did I scroll up? Okay. So what I suggested was a song kind of reflecting this. They're starting to make friends, starting to find their place in this community. That kind of thing, right? Learning, growing, still got a way to go. Get comfortable, figure out home. But you gotta can't get complacent. You gotta keep on progressing. That's my mindset, personally. So, I probably wrote that line. So this whole song, you can kind of think of it as Sanae kind of coming to Genzokyo, learning about it, meeting new people, finding her place, but also it's kind of like Higan Daybreak, finding their own place in the Dojin community. That's the way that I wrote it, suggested. We wrote it. Honestly, at this point, I can't even remember which lines that I wrote and which ones JT wrote. So, they ended up releasing another album, Hifu Gatari, which was very good. But, after that, and it was very collaborative too, I believe. Let me see. Yes, it had a lot of different people. So as you can see, they're definitely beginning to like find their place in the community. They got lots of new friends. Sadly, Higan Daybreak ended up disbanding. One of the co-founders, Ren, he still is very active, and I'm very happy he's active, so be sure to check out his stuff. I think he's doing a series called Super Sound Series. I believe that's what it's called, where he remixes, rearranges video game BGMs. It's very good, so he's still active. Be sure to check him out. But Higan Daybreak, sadly, it's not active anymore, but they may come back one day. Perhaps. We can only hope. In that regard, I kind of feel like these lyrics kind of aged badly. But they did find their place with Hifugatari. They definitely found their place with the community. Yes, good point. Super Sound Series Volume 2 is releasing tomorrow. First one was great. Check out the second. So I'll be sure to add the credits to the description after I'm done this video. I'm very sorry that I missed that one. But I also wrote another one. This time it was solo, featuring Milky-chan, who is also very talented. She has her own circle, Nodowadata Night, which I would recommend checking out as well. And this was my first time actually writing lyrics with someone else. I would definitely change a lot, honestly. Like I said, I'm not very good. I can't say I'm very good at writing English lyrics, and I think some of it turned out a bit difficult to sing. Sometimes it feels like I kind of overloaded the melody a little bit. It's definitely a lot I would change in this one. But that's my own fault, honestly. And next up, we have Violet Delta's track, Lunatic Dance Floor. This song is probably, what do you call it? It might be my magnum opus of lyrics, maybe. Maybe not anymore. I've released a lot of songs that I've been proud of lately, but this song is definitely up there. And man, everything about this song, from the arrangement, the guitar at the end, the vocals. This was my first time working with Slothington. Add the credits to the thing. It's my first time working with Slothington, who turned out to be amazing. Like I said, most of the vocalists that I work with tend to have Japanese knowledge. They're a bit familiar with the language, and it really helps a lot. One of the worst things that can probably happen to a song is if the vocalist kind of doesn't know how to sing Japanese, which thankfully I haven't had the issue with in any of the songs I've worked with. Okay, there we go. And change the album out. So, there's a special story about this song. It ended up being on DANCEFLOOR's album, Ensemble of Gensokyo 16, Access. But due to some sort of disaster that happened, it did not get released online due to personal reasons. So right now, it's kind of a limited edition album. Probably the most difficult album to get out of anything that I've written for, because it was only released locally in, I think, somewhere in Malaysia. So, very difficult album to get. But you can find this song on Violet Delta's SoundCloud. And man, it is a very cool song. Like I said, the guitar at the end is one of my favorite parts, and we'll get to that now. Alright. This song is epic. I would say I'm sad that it hasn't appeared on any other albums, but it actually got remixed on DJ Timote's Toho Euro Mission. I think it was Volume 2. So you can still get a version of this song. You can still buy a version of this song somewhere. And it's a very good remix too. So when I was talking about the difference between emotional and danceable songs, this is definitely a danceable kind of song. So I wanted to write the lyrics to reflect that. So, like I said, with that alliteration stuff in Blue Beauty, I went ham with it in this song. Like you can see with the first line, couple lines, you have the same kind of sounds, like comboing together like a fighting game. Again, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I tend to write these kinds of things. I think it sounds really cool like that. And man, most of the song goes like that. Honestly, that's probably the best part of the song, of the lyrics I mean, is how it kind of chains together really nicely. And, right, the meaning of the song, I think is fairly obvious. It's centered around the myth of Princess Kaguya. Basically, her birth. She came from a bamboo thing, right? So I figured it's a pretty special event. Once in a lifetime, well, not even that, once in history kind of event for the Princess of the Moon to descend to Earth kind of thing. So I figured this is the one time all the animals would get together, put aside their differences, and have a kind of festival, right? That was my thoughts behind this. And the theme of the album, Ensemble of Gensokyo 16 Access, it's basically about interconnections between characters to characters, musicians to listeners, friends, all that kind of thing. So it really ties together with that, in that Kaguya brings everyone, all the animals together. Now, fun fact in this album, all the tracks have pairs. So, for example, Remilia and Flanders would each have their own kind of connected tracks. So, this one is Moon 1970, but there's another side, which is GNSK 1969, which kind of pairs with the track. I've never gotten the chance to hear it myself because, well, like I said, this album is kind of extremely difficult to get. But there is a pair to this song, which is very cool. But overall, Slothington did a fantastic job. Violet Delta, very, very hit track. I think this got like 7,000 views on SoundCloud, so that's pretty big. The only thing that I would change is, honestly, probably the second half of the song. I think this is fine. I wanted to incorporate more of Kaguya's legend, so I had sparrows and the fire rats, things from his 7 Impossible Requests. Branches with gems, that kind of thing. It's a very fancy forest, I guess. And the only thing I would change is I feel like it kind of loses its groove at some point. In the beginning, I had the lyrics stringed together in a very rhythmical way, but I'm not sure if it's as much like that later on. I think that would be the only thing that I would really change. And fun fact, this song actually got mapped for a rhythm game. I can't remember what it's called. It's on Violet Delta's channel. You can check it out. And, got a lot of hit reviews. I remember reading them, and man, there's one comment that said something like, "Wow, I'm surprised a non-Japanese person can write such lyrics reminiscent of Japanese folklore," something like that. And I was like, wow, that really hit me. There's a lot of cool comments on this song, but I think now I could do a bit better with the second half. The end's good, but probably just these two. Wouldn't mind rewriting them a little bit. But it's still a great song, in my opinion. And it did get an amazing remix too, so be sure to check that out. Do I have anything left to say about this song? Right. The main thing that led me down this path was, I already wrote a song for Akyra before, in Homebound. I didn't want to tread the same ground twice. I wanted something completely different from Homebound. That's kind of what led me down this path. And luckily, it's the tone of the song. The instrumental itself is completely different too. That helps a lot. You can't really write an emotional song with an upbeat kinda instrumental. The instrumental really dictates what kind of lyrics you write. It has a big influence. At least that's my process. I listen to an instrumental and I think, what is this song telling me? That sounds kind of crazy. I mean, instrumentals can't speak, but you gotta listen. Listen to the rhythm of the beat. To find the inner voice of the song. Or something like that. I don't know. I also tend to get a lot of input too from either vocalists or the arrangers themselves. I tend to ask them, like, is there anything you would suggest about this song? Any kind of specifications you'd want? That tends to help in general too. If not, then I just go ham with whatever I can think of. Speaking of which, the next song is one of those songs with, I guess, specifications. Back to English lyrics. The guitar section is kind of short, but I don't think that's a problem, honestly. It had a very nice, cool touch at the end. Which reminds me of something I forgot to say. In Homebound, it had a little bit of piano at the end too, which was also very short, but it added so much. It's so little, but it adds so much. And I think it's the same with this song. It really finishes the track off nicely. Now, this song is how I got into superhero heroes. Cosmic Queen. Superhero Heroes Volume 2. This one... Hold on, let me change the credits before I talk about this. Cosmic Queen. Superhero Heroes. Volume 2. Vocals, Butter, and Impedance did the arrangement. So again, we got a very, very danceable song this time. And the main thing about this one is Impedance actually was the one who wrote the chorus. And that really set the tone for the rest of the song. And honestly, if you ask me, the chorus is the best part of the lyrics. Like I said, Japanese lyrics is my kind of specialty, so this is writing English is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but for some reason, Eurobeat tends to bring the English out of me. And it did for this song. So, this was a very danceable song. It's an original song. It's not a Toho arrangement. So there's no Toho meanings in this song. But the thing is, like I said, this is for superhero heroes. That is Galaxian Records. That said, I haven't heard any songs with galactic motif from Galaxian Records. So my inspiration here was to write something futuristic that kind of matches their name, while also staying true to the dance theme in the chorus. I wanted to bring the Galaxian into Galaxian Records. That was my main inspiration with this one. So, let's take a look. Alright. Like I said, that was a very, very danceable song. Last time I wrote in English with, what's it called? Wild and Wonderful World. I think my inexperience really, really showed. But this time, I had a bit more experience. My English lyrics were not as bad. I'd like to think. And I think it shows. It's a lot more singable. I think it flowed a lot better, and I think I accomplished my goal with making it a galactic song, if that makes any sense. Honestly, funny thing is, when I wrote for this song, I didn't actually know if it was going to be a girl singing it or a guy singing it. So, I think that's the only thing that kind of came out a bit awkward. That said, I mean, it doesn't really matter, honestly. But sometimes it's handy to know that kind of thing. I should have asked 100%. Because, I mean, I don't know, sometimes this line could have ended up really strange if it was any different, I think. But it turned out alright. It's a very, very danceable song. But again, I still think the chorus was the best part, which Impedance actually wrote himself. And I basically based the rest around the chorus. But yeah, that Eurobrass riff it's pretty epic. The title, too, Cosmic Queen. That is also something that I might change. Now, it sounds good independently, but I accidentally got, influenced. Turns out there was, if you know League of Legends, there was a skin line that came out. A cosmic skin line, and one of the skins' names was Cosmic Queen Ash. And I think I got subliminal messaged by that, and ended up accidentally using it as a title. So it's sadly not as original as I would like it to be. It was completely accidental that I ended up using the same kind of thing. Oh man, can't believe that happened. I can't believe I got influenced by a League of Legends skin for the title. Jesus. But the song, I think that came out good. I accomplished the goals that I set out for that song, I think. It was my first time working with Impedance. So, I think that's all I have to say for this one. This is from Superhero Heroes Volume 2. Next up, we have the sequel to Plantagenia Mosaic. My first thought on the title was Queen, but make it cosmic. This was the long-awaited sequel. It came out, I think, in November-ish of 2020. So, it's like 2-year gap, I think. And man, I'm glad it came out. That's all I have to say. Everyone was waiting for this. So, let me bring up the album art before I talk about this. This song, or rather this album, has heavy Interstellar 5555 inspirations. So, before I wrote this song, I refreshed myself with the Interstellar, and I watched the whole movie album thing. What would you actually call that? It's not a music video. It really is just like a music movie. I don't know if anyone has ever called it that before, but Daft Punk. They're gone now. Feels bad. But they're very good, and this is heavily inspired by that. You can see from the album art itself. So this song, in fact, is titled Stella, from the album Stella. Vocals, KISAKI, and arranged by Kodokon. Fun fact about this album, you're in the Plantagenia server in like 2018 or 2019 discussing the album art, like what we were going to do for it. And we were coming up with various ideas to parody kind of the Interstellar 5555. And I think I was the one who suggested having Yomu holding her ghost like the dude holds his helmet. Let me see. Let me see if I can bring it up. Ah, here it is. It's very, very based off this. Hold on, I think everything's in the way so you can't see it. This. You can see the parallels, right? I think it turned out very cool. I think Shibayan actually did something with one of their albums kind of similar. I think it was Magical Catastrophe. Was based on parodying something. I can't remember what. But that's basically the idea with this one. So, basically, the theme was, even if you're from another world, I'll still love you. That was the theme. So, you mix Interstellar 5555 inspirations, and the original tracks, Border of Life and Ancient Temple, from Toho. And what do you get? Instead of an alien visiting Earth, you get a ghost who must eventually return to the Netherworld. So, it includes a lot of subtle references to Ryuko, Digital Love, Something About Us. That's the main idea with this song. And yes, I agree. People should listen to both Fearless Desire and Stella. So, let's take a look at this one. Alright. So there's a lot to unpack in this song. First thing I want to say is, with Kageboshi, I was very tempted to write it a different way. Let me see. I'll write it in the chat. I was very tempted to write it like this, with bo as in death, the dead, like as in ghost, that kind of thing. I don't know why I didn't. It would have been a very good play on words, a very good addition to it. Another thing that I want to say is, what's it called? First of all, the way KISAKI sings with the background vocals, it's really amazing, and also, it reminds me a lot of Disney songs. I don't know if you get what I mean, but Disney songs tend to have a lot of crazy background vocals. And it really reminded me of it. It was really well done. Now, a fun fact about this. With this kind of thing, these sections, me and Kodokon, we went back and forth a lot, trying to find out how to best write this, how to make it sound the best. I think originally, this was a lot longer, I think, and had more text to it. Kind of similar to, yes, ABBA. It also is very reminiscent of ABBA. It originally used to be like this, the first section. And also, this used to be completely different, as in, it used to be, right now as it is, we have one line, we have a different line, another different line, and then this fourth line kind of builds off the third one. Instead, it used to kind of be like Kimi no Kotone no for like all of them. But before that, it used to be kind of like this. Then we changed it to all Kimi no Kotone no, and then we changed it back to something like this. So this song has probably had the most revisions of any song that I've ever written. There's a lot of input from KISAKI as well. Like, honestly, this song really used to be completely different in the first draft. In fact, it used to be mixed English and Japanese. When I first wrote it, we kind of had Japanese lines representing Ryuko or Yomu, one of the two. And then we had the English line representing the other. And then we changed the idea to, okay, let's have a Japanese version of the song, and let's have an English version of the song. But then it changed to this, which I have no complaints about. It's a great song. Everyone did a great job with it. And in track 2, as Kafka Fura said in the chat, speaking of revisions, thanks for finishing my lyrics for track 2. I hope I did a good job with that. I tried to, the main idea is that Kafka wrote basically the first half of the song for track 2, Fantasy, and I kind of wrote a continuation of it. So I tried my best to kind of keep your style. I'm not sure if I managed to accomplish that. Hopefully I did, but that was when I learned I could not write upbeat lyrics. It happens. It can be difficult. But yeah, I'm not sure if I accomplished the goal, because it kind of ended up turning a bit dark when I finished it too. You like the result? That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. This song, Stella, like I said, it has kind of a lot of references to Daft Punk. With this this section, the chorus, I think I kind of went for I took something about us, as kind of inspiration for this. And I also took a lot of inspiration from Digital Love. Those were my main inspirations with these songs. But also, I kind of wanted, like I said, I wanted references to Yomu and Ryuko with these songs too. Which is where the Ryuko visiting the real world from the netherworld kind of comes in. It has a lot of parallels with Interstellar 5555 in a Toho kind of way. That was the main idea with this kind of song. But I don't think I have anything else to say about this one. Oh, right. This line. I'm very, very happy with this line. Usually, you see Seishi Okakaru as in putting your life on the line. It uses a different kanji. But I used this kanji, which means kind of bridging the gap in a way. So it ended up being kind of bridging life and death. But usually it's putting your life on the line. So it's kind of like a play on words a little bit. Anyway, I'm very happy with that line. Anything else that I want to say? I think that's all for this song. Alright. So that was Stella from the album Stella. Check it out. It's in the description. I hope. I hope I didn't miss this one too. So, next we got Toho Euro Mission 3. History Repeaters. This song, again, it has two meanings. Kind of centers around Kana, the history teacher in Gensokyo. But it also has a meaning not really personal to me, but it's kind of about humanity itself, which sounds a lot deeper than, a lot more pretentious than I hope it is. So, let's go on to this song. Alright. So, that was History Repeaters, sung by Slothington. I think this was my third time working with Slothington at this point when I wrote this. Very good vocalist. It was also my first time working with Akyra Eurobeat, who is, I think he's like a rising star, honestly. All his works have been pretty good, but kind of popped out of nowhere, it seems like. But yeah, credits to him, he's doing really good stuff, such as this song. So, like I said, two different meanings with this. We got one from Kana, basically trying to do something, trying to change things. It pretty much centers around her role in Imperishable Night. In fact, I did a lot of research on the way she speaks to try and make sure that the lyrics were consistent with her, like I said, the way she speaks, I guess. So, there's that. And also, there's one thing that I'm not sure about in this song. This line kind of feels forced. I saw this quote. I think Remilia says this to Kane during her route, and I really like the line, but I'm not sure if it fits in the song. It kind of feels forced in. Thematically it fits, but melodically it's kind of... Does it work in a song? It's not really a song kind of line. That's probably my biggest thing that I would change in this song. But other than that, maybe this one too. Generally, this theme too is basically where I'd probably change the most. The lines I wrote for that. Now, on the other side, on the not Toho side, I kind of wrote this song thinking about humanity in general. Especially, well, probably got a lot of influence from COVID, honestly. Humans do not have long lifespans, I gotta say. 100 years, or 80 years, or 70, whatever the average is in your country. The average human lifespan, it's longer than most animals, but it is still not long enough, such that humans tend to repeat their mistakes a lot. And there's so much knowledge now that it's not possible for one person to know everything. Back in the olden times, it used to be possible to read every single book that ever existed. Not anymore. Now you really have to choose carefully what you consume. It's just so much stuff. But anyway, as it goes for history, it just, like they say, history repeats itself. And there are those who repeat history. And it ties in with COVID, people kinda not respecting it, I guess. And that was my main two motivations, Kane and people repeating history. Like I said, I hope it is not as pretentious as it sounds. But the general tone of the song was, it's Eurobeat, but it's not very upbeat Eurobeat. It's very... I don't know how to describe it, honestly. It's very... It's a unique flavor of Eurobeat, and I figured something rather serious like this would fit the tone of the song. It's not really a dance kind of song, it's not really an emotional kind of song. I figured something like this fits it well. And that is from Toho Euro Mission 3. I wrote, I think, 2 other songs for that. So be sure to check it out. It's a very good album overall, and a very good deal. I think it has like 14 songs, maybe more than that. Let me check. Toho Euro Mission 03. Best way to look. You got 17 songs for like $17. That's $15. It's not a bad deal. That's a lot of songs. High quality songs too. So, recommendation. I recommend all the albums that I talk about today, which should be no surprise. Also, instrumentals are out. If anyone wants to remix any of these songs. But enough about that. We got the second last song coming up next. This one is from Akyra's Untouched Eurobeat Volume 2. So, I first got in touch with the creator of this album, in the first volume. And I was kind of unsure if I wanted to cover this song or the first song. Or the song in the first album. I wasn't really sure. But I settled on this one. And the fancy thing about this one is it features vocals from Kokoa, who is a prominent singer in the Dojin Eurobeat community. I think she worked on with A1, with Eurobeat Union. She is very, very popular singer. High profile. So it was a pleasure to have her sing my lyrics, I gotta say. So, sometimes, like I said, I usually write a suggestion for the titles. They don't always get through, which is fine. In this case, the title ended up being Summer Bunny. So, this one was more of a... how do I say it? Basically, Shinko contacted me with an idea. So, the whole theme behind this song was Shinko's doing, basically. He wanted a cute song, fit for the summer, a cute summer song, with bunnies. So, that's what I did. I took that idea and ran with it as much as I could. And I think it turned out very good. So, I'll play that now. That was the beach episode. Every anime has a beach episode. And so too do the lyrics that I write. So, as far as cute lyrics with a bunny girl goes, I think that was the best I could do. And I always tend to search up my I always tend up to search the albums and the circles that I work with on like Twitter and stuff like that to see what people are saying about them. And when I searched up Akyra's Untouched Eurobeat Volume 2, I did see people saying that the lyrics were cute. So, mission accomplished is what I have to say. Shinko wanted cute lyrics. I guess he got them. According to the people. These are some funky, fresh beats. The amazing thing is Shinko does all the songs, most of the songs in the album by himself. He had Turbo featured in the latest album, this one, which was very cool, but he does most of them himself, which is very impressive. I'm sure it takes a lot of work to do a solo album. And he did, I think, the first album all by himself, too. I don't know how he gets these big names to sing for him, though. That is very, very impressive. Because like I said, this one was sung by Kokoa, one of the prominent singers in the Japanese Eurobeat community. But, right, one thing to say. This Usagi, at the end of this part and this, I originally had basically these entire two segments completely different, but Shinko wanted Usagi to go at this section, at the end specifically, and I think it turned out really good because of it. It really, really fits. So I'm glad he suggested that. And I rewrote it to accompany that. Ended up turning out really good. It's funny how the little things can really make a big difference in a song sometimes. The only thing I kind of regret is the perspective change. it kind of goes from you being invited on a date to kind of general narration. Not sure how I feel about this. The change in perspective is kind of the only thing that I might like to change. But other than that, I think the goal was accomplished. People on Twitter did seem to think it was a cute song, so that was my goal. Anything else I want to say about this? I think that's about it. But yeah, sometimes producers like to give specifications, and I have no problem with that. Makes the creative process a lot easier, at least. And last song of the stream. This is the latest and 20th song. It's Time Space Overdrive from Superhero Heroes Volume 3. So, again, like I said, sometimes I make suggestions for the title. They don't always get through. And in this case, turned into Time Space Overdrive. I can't remember who suggested this. It was either KISAKI or Ryuko Pegasasu. But it is a really epic title. I am very, very glad they changed it to this. So, Ryuko Pegasasu. This was a very collaborative effort as well. We worked together on the theme of the song, a lot of it, honestly. Like I said, KISAKI is, I think the best way to describe it is a professional. She knows what she is doing, so I will take any feedback I can get from her. And this song is probably has the most ambitious lyrics that I've ever written, honestly. So, there's two things that I took into account. The first thing is, this song has traditional and modern sounds. As well, it has Japanese vocals in a genre that kind of originated in the West. It's a very worldwide kind of song. Considering this song is all over the place in a cool and unique way, I wanted to write something which incorporates this, which resulted in a journey through time and space in search of the secrets of the world, which sounds kind of corny when I put it like that, but I think it turned out to be a really cool song. So, let's get into it. There it is. Time Space Overdrive. So this was a collaborative effort between me, KISAKI, Ryuko Pegasasu, and Violet Delta. It is probably the culmination of everything I've learned when writing lyrics. It is the most ambitious thing I've ever written. Some of it, such as this line, really kind of forced in there because it sounds really cool. But KISAKI really made it work, honestly. There's a lot that I kinda really kinda tried to force in there because it sounded cool. But man, I'm glad KISAKI made everything work out. Came together to be a really, really amazing song. So, the main idea with this one is, I think I first saw, before I wrote the song, I think I first saw the album art for this album, and kinda gave me kind of inspiration for some kind of journey, I should say. Like, those in the album art, they kind of look like they're kind of exploring a cool, new, futuristic world. That was that plus what I mentioned before, the traditional instruments plus the modern ones, came together to really paint this cool picture in my mind of making friends along time and space. So, in my mind, you go to the future, you make some friends, pick them up, go on the ride back to the past, pick them up, everyone's having a great time, exploring the entire world, showing them all the different timelines and places and stuff. It's a cool party in a time-traveling spaceship kind of thing. Again, it sounds kind of dumb when I put it like that, but I think the lyrics turned out really, really cool. I don't think the only thing that I might change, if I had the option to, is in this kind of paragraph, the second half, the right side, kind of continues from the left side. Like, this is all one line. It all is one sentence, kind of, basically. If I could go back, I would make the right side kind of independent of the left side. As in, they can both stand alone, but they're interconnected. Kind of like what a semicolon does. I'd kind of have an imaginary semicolon in the middle. Kind of like what I did for this page. And this. But something like this one, the past is exposed, kinda, you need both sides of it. I would like to have them separate, like I did for olden times, fairy tales, nature, snow, moons, flowers, that kind of thing. Same thing for the first page. I'd like to have it kind of separated if I could go back. That's the main thing that I would change. But yeah, I've encountered a 2-column layout where you can read it vertically and horizontally, and it's crazy when it works. Yeah. That would be kinda the ultimate goal, really. As my main criticism with these lyrics. I'd like to change that a little bit. Other than that, I think it's pretty good. Looks better as a call plus response in the music, though, rather than a solo vocalist. Yeah, I can imagine. That is the latest song from Superhero Heroes Volume 3, which is an amazing album. It came out last month, I believe. Honestly, with Superhero Heroes and Galaxian Records in general, you can really, really feel the progress as they go on. More than most circles, honestly. Like, if you compare the Volume 3 with Volume 1, it is honestly completely different. They're basically two different circles. The amount they've grown is very impressive. But I think that's all I have to say, honestly. As a look at about half the songs that I've written that have been released. Sometimes I've had some unreleased songs that haven't been released. I don't know why I said that. So, I've written more than 20 songs, but 20 songs have been published officially. This is the latest one. Crazy. Crazy to think that I've come this far, gotta say. Anyway, I don't want to drag this stream on for too long. It's already been 2 hours. So I think I'll say goodbye, and thank you to everyone who's arrived, checked it out, took a look. And, be sure to support me in the future, please. Please check out other songs that I work on. And check out all the circles that I've, mentioned in the description. Do stuff. And if you're coming here from, the archive, be sure to buy the albums and follow along like that. Because like I said, the music is muted. Anyway, with that, I will say goodbye. And thank you for watching. And be sure to like the video, and be sure to subscribe. Do the things that make the numbers go up.